your latest news update from Western Mass News.
I'm Matt Tilly, and here's your latest news update from Western Mass News. The Northampton Police Department is asking for your help in locating 17-year-old Joshua West, who has been reported missing out of Huntington. Joshua is 5'9", 130 pounds, and was last seen wearing blue jeans, sneakers, a red long-sleeve shirt, and a gray hooded sweatshirt. He was last seen Thursday leaving the property of the Retreat at Norwich Lake and was possibly seen on Route 66 headed towards Northampton sometime later that day. If you have any information, please contact Mass State Police. The Munson Fire Department is asking for your help in recovering some equipment. Last night, while crews were responding to a call, a milk crate containing ratchet straps and chains fell off one of the trucks. Another fire truck noticed someone loading what they believe may have been their equipment into two cars on Monument Ave. The cars were a small white hatchback and a bigger blue hatchback about the size of a Subaru Forester. A male with gray hair and possibly a gray beard was seen. Anyone with information or security video in the area is being asked to contact the Munson Fire Department. Warmer temperatures this winter are affecting businesses across Western Mass. At the North Hadley Sugar Shack, owner John Boisvert tells us they're harvesting sap earlier than usual. He adds the warm weather can also cause the maple syrup to turn out a darker color with a stronger maple flavor.
Well, it's Sunday, and it has been a pretty beautiful weekend, a very dry weekend as well. Saturday was a beautiful day with lots of sunshine. Today, dry, but we did see a little bit more cloud cover, and it has been seasonably mild. Today, we reached a high around 45 degrees. Now, taking a look at your 24, taking us through the rest of the night, we will hang on to the cloud cover as we push through the evening. Temperatures will start to fall through the 40s and into the 30s. And overnight tonight, we do look to clear out briefly before we do wake up tomorrow morning. So this is around 2 a.m. We do have a bit of some mostly clear skies in our area with temperatures in the mid 30s. Now we are going to hang on to a bit of a breeze as well, which is why these temperatures are not going to crater very quickly. As we're waking up tomorrow morning, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with temperatures in the 30s. And then we do look to have a mix of sun and clouds for tomorrow, a little bit more on the cloudy side, and it will be mild with temperatures reaching the lower 50s. And there is a chance for the spot shower as we head into the afternoon, but it would be brief. And we are going to be looking at mostly cloudy skies with a little bit of some sun peeking through. We do have a bit of an unsettled week ahead. We have a chance for some mixed precipitation as we head into Tuesday night going into Wednesday, high around 40. And then we are watching a system for Wednesday night into Thursday, which looks to start off as a bit of a mixed precipitation before turning over to about rain and sleet for your day on Thursday. Temperatures will be borderline freezing that day. Friday turns dry but windy and chilly with temperatures in the lower 30s, feeling like it's in the 20s. And then we start to trend colder as we head into next weekend.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.